January 25, 1966, during a summer heat wave, Jim Beaumont dropped his 3 children off at Glenelg Beach before heading off on a 3-day sales trip to Snowtown. Jane, the eldest child, was considered responsible enough to care for the 2 younger siblings. This was a normal situation back in 1960s Australia. On the morning of January 26, 1966, on the public holiday known as Australia Day, the children asked their mother to visit the beach again. Australia Day is the official national day of Australia. As it was too hot to walk, the children took a 5-minute, 2-mile, bus journey from their home to the beach at 8:45 a.m. and were expected to return home on the 12 o'clock noon bus. The children arrived at Glenelg, the Mosley Street bus stop across the road from Wenzel's Bakery, and then had a short walk to the beach in Collie Reserve. Jane was dressed in her pink one-piece bathers with pale green shorts and canvas sand shoes with white soles. She took a paperback copy of Louisa May Alcott's Little Women. She carried 3 drying towels inside a generic Airways-type bag. Arna wore a one-piece red and white striped bather with tan shorts and sandals. She also sported a bright orange hairpin. Grant wore only green and white vertically striped bathers under green cotton shorts and red sandals, with no shirt. Nancy became worried when the children did not return on either the 12 o'clock or 2 p.m. buses, and when Jim returned home early from his trip around 3 p.m., he immediately drove to the beach to locate them. However, he was unable to find them and he returned home to pick up Nancy, and together they searched the streets and visited friends' houses. At around 5:30 p.m., they went to the Glenelg police station to report the children missing. Police quickly organized a search of the area on and around the beach, based on the assumption that the children were nearby and had simply lost track of time. They then expanded to nearby buildings, with the airport, rail lines, and interstate roads being monitored. Police quickly established that between them the children were carrying 17 individual items, including clothing, towels, and bags, but none of these items was located. The Patalonga boat haven was drained on 29th of January after a woman told police that she had spoken with 3 children, who were similar in description to the Beaumont children, near the haven at 7 p.m. on January 26. Nothing was found. On the day of their disappearance, several witnesses had seen the children on and near Glenelg Beach with a tall blonde and thin-faced man, with a suntanned complexion of thin to athletic build, aged in his mid-30s to mid-40s. He was around 6 feet tall. That man was clean-shaven and was wearing Speedo-type swimming trunks. He had a long face and a high forehead. He was wearing navy blue bathers. He had with him a towel, shirt and trousers that he had placed on a nearby park bench. An identikit was drawn up of the man, however there are some problems with this drawing. The artist was apparently drunk at the time and had to rush the sketch due to a time deadline. Even after getting this much information, nothing was found at that time. About 2 years after the disappearance, the Beaumonts received 2 letters. One apparently written by Jane and the another by a man who said he was keeping the children. The envelopes showed a postmark of Dandenong, Victoria. The brief notes describe a relatively pleasant existence and refer to the man who was keeping them. Police believed at the time that the letters could quite likely have been authentic after comparing them with others written by Jane. The letter from the man said that he had appointed himself guardian of the children and was willing to hand them back to their parents. In the letter, a meeting place was nominated. The Beaumont parents, followed by a detective, drove to the designated place but nobody appeared. It was sometime later that a 3rd letter, also purported to be from Jane, arrived. It said that the man had been willing to return them, but when he realized a disguised detective was also there, he decided that the Beaumonts had betrayed his trust and that he would keep the children. There were no further letters. In 1992, new forensic examinations of the letters showed they were a hoax. Fingerprint technology had improved and the author was identified as a 41-year-old man who had been a teenager at the time and had written the letters as a joke. Because of the time that had elapsed, he was not charged with any offense. In November 2013, excavation was started on the site of a North Blimpton factory that had previously belonged to a possible suspect in the case, Harry Phipps. In January 2018, an excavation occurred at a different part of the factory, at a place where a small disturbance was detected. Between the 4th and the 7th of January 2018, specialized in modern testing was used to probe the soil. Subsequent excavation of this area by police on the 2nd of February 2018 yielded no trace of the Beaumont children, only some bones thought to be from a large animal. The excavations were based on two men reporting that as boys they had been paid to dig a hole in that area at around the time. The Beaumont case resulted in one of the largest police investigations in Australian criminal history and remains one of Australia's most infamous cold cases, even after many decades. In January 2018, the Premier of South Australia, Jay Weatherill, said that South Australia police had never given up on the case and that they have a policy that no murder investigation ends up in a closed file. The state government also continues to maintain a $1 million reward for information relating to the children's disappearance. Nancy died in an Adelaide nursing home in September 2019, survived by her former husband Jim, now aged in his 90s. Such was the strain of the children's disappearance. The couple separated in the 1980s and later divorced. Neither had any more children. Despite a huge search effort, no sign of the children has been found in over 50 years. The disappearance of the Beaumont children has been one of Australia's most notorious cold cases and subject to wild speculation at times, including possible sightings of the children living as adults overseas. But even after 5 decades, the disappearance of the Beaumont children is still an unsolved mystery.